This past Sunday, Rose and I hosted a Memorial Day party for our Filipino friends. Given that this is a day to remember those who gave all in the cause of freedom, I thought it fitting to speak here of the U.S. and Philippine common efforts in our respective countries in the cause of freedom. The liberation of the Philippines from the Japanese occupation comes to mind. The day after Pearl Harbor was bombed on December 7, 1941, Japan launched its invasion of the Philippines. After struggling against great odds to save his adopted home from Japanese conquest, General Douglas MacArthur was forced to abandon the Philippine island fortress of Corregidor under orders from President Franklin Delano Roosevelt in March 1942. Left behind at Corregidor and on the Bataan Peninsula were 90,000 American and Filipino troops who, lacking food supplies and support, would soon succumb to the Japanese offensive. After leaving Corregidor, MacArthur traveled by boat 560 miles to the Philippine island of Mindanao. On March 17th, the general boarded a B-17 Flying Fortress for northern Australia. He then took a train to Melbourne. During this journey, he was informed that there were far fewer Allied troops in Australia than he had hoped. Relief of his forces trapped in the Philippines would not be forthcoming. Deeply disappointed, he issued a statement to the press in which he promised his men and the people of the Philippines, "I shall return." And on October 20th, 1944, a few hours after his troops landed, MacArthur waded ashore onto the Philippine islands of Leyte. That day, he made a radio broadcast in which he declared, "People of the Philippines, I have returned." In January 1945, his forces invaded the main Philippine island of Luzon. In February, Japanese forces at Bataan were cut off and Corregidor was captured. Manila, the Philippine capital, fell in March, and in June, MacArthur announced his offensive operations on Luzon to be at an end, although scattered Japanese resistance continued to the end of the war in August. Only one-third of the men MacArthur left behind in March 1942 survived to see his return. "I'm a little late," he told them, "but we finally came." Here is General MacArthur's radio address to the Philippine people on October 20th, 1944.
This is the voice of freedom, General MacArthur speaking. People of the Philippines, I have returned. By the grace of Almighty God, our forces stand again on Philippine soil, soil consecrated in the blood of our two people. We have come dedicated and committed to the task of destroying every vestige of enemy control over your daily lives and of restoring upon a foundation of indestructible strength the liberties of your people. At my side is your president, Sergio Osmeña, worthy successor of that great patriot, Manuel Quezon, with members of his cabinet. The seat of your government is now therefore firmly reestablished on Philippine soil. The hour of your redemption is here. Your patriots have demonstrated an unswerving and resolute devotion to the principles of freedom that challenges the best that is written on the pages of human history. I now call upon your supreme effort that the enemy may know from the temper of an aroused and outraged people within that he has a force there to contend with no less violent than is the force committed from without. Rally to me. Let the indomitable spirit of Bataan and Corregidor lead on. As the lines of battle roll forward to bring you within the zone of operations, rise and strike. Strike at every favorable opportunity. For your homes and hearths, strike. For future generations of your sons and daughters, strike. In the name of your sacred dead, strike. Let no heart be faint. Let every arm be steeled. The guidance of divine God points the way. Follow in his name, to the holy grail of righteous victory.
Okay, people will start arriving soon, so let the party begin.
Walang tao. Wala! Wala! Wala tayo! Meron na! Nakala! Yung sa'yo? Tapos sana kung mahal. Ito.
Groceries, roses, kasi wala, hindi na kinakain ng dairy, no? Yun yata yan. Attendance. Wala pa sila Giselle.
This food that we prepare, and especially the host who is always trying
Walang end kasi ano. Okay lang. Yeah, pag may end, wag mo nang wala.
Okay, oh, 73.
Ayan, ganda, Diana.
Margarita girl.
Lanil. Kampay. Kampay, di ba pa
Sa'yo ang gawas mo kasi babae inyo eh. Ayaw mo sa saan.
G, 34?
N, 72.
72.
72, 69, meron na, di ba?
Yeah, 60.
Ako na magbigay sa akin.
Yan cinnamon? Ano yan? Three.
Okay. Got you, ladies.
Thank you. Woo! Thank you. Woo!
Oh, yes. I'm not.
Oh, they gonna show. They gonna see. My goodness,